Well, hey there. What's going on there, sport? This is America's Man's Man, and I hope you're doing okay. I hope you're doing okay. You know, I'm not here to entertain you. I'm not here to entertain you. You may think of me as a friend. However, we don't know each other, and in the one sense, I am the best friend many of you have, which is it's a somewhat pathetic situation for many of you. But that's the only reason that I'm really here and that you're watching me, is because you don't have someone in your life to tell you the things that I'm telling you. But I'm glad you found me. I'm glad you found me because I want to help. I don't want to, my chief goal, I'm not like the talking heads on television, in that my purpose is not to evoke some kind of cheap thrill. My purpose is not to titillate. My purpose is not to, my chief goal is not to extract money from you like the advertisers. I love to, don't get me wrong, I love making money, but it's not why I'm in this box here, or this tablet that you have here. You have to understand that above all, well, first of all, none of us is above the influence of media. None of us is above the influence of media. If you're like the average Joe American, or the average Jill, you probably think regarding television, well, yeah, I watch Netflix or whatever you want to call it. It's pornography is what it is. But I watch Netflix, but I know the difference between reality and fiction. And there are a lot of parents out there who think just that. They think, well, I just have to teach my child this isn't true, and this is just for fun, or this is just for shucks and giggles, right? But the reality is that that's one of the deceptive lies, which is intended to sucker you in, because we have to, and this is purely from a secular or non-religious standpoint, we are designed as natural creatures. We live in a world of planes, trains, automobiles, and now the internet. And the internet is an unnatural, man-made phenomenon, which we as human beings, it's not that we're, I want to say that we're powerless to deal with it, because we have a good, I'm going to teach you how you deal with it, but it's pure self-deception to say that you can sit yourself down in front of whatever device, or maybe you're driving as you're listening to americasmansman.com. And by the way, if you happen to be not consuming, I don't like that video because it's demeaning to you. If you happen to be taking part in this video educational seminar from your from wherever, you need to understand. You need to understand this. As you consume, as you it's a very difficult topic because this is really something new and original. Hollywood doesn't know about new and original art. They just kind of keep thumping and screaming over it, and they call that music these days. And this is all a kind of a side effect of what technology has done to all of us. That we would think something like that is music, when it really isn't. It's just thumping and screaming and obscenities, and essentially. So what's the problem? What's the problem with entertainment? So we've sure, you've heard people talk about desensitization. If you just if you watch enough people jump off a building or commit suicide in a television, in a teleplay, or at the cinema, or most likely, if you're watching this now illegally from China, on your computer, one of these Hollywood dramas, which are really. Well, okay, let me try. This is thank you for bearing with me, by the way, as I try to tackle this topic, because when you're brainwashed, part of what makes it effective brainwashing is that we as a civilization, and again, no one suffers more from the poison of America's unholy alliance of the FANG companies. That's Facebook, Amazon, Apple, Google, and Netflix. Sometimes I call them the Fagin companies, or FANG, what have you. One of the troubles in attempting to describe the problem is that we are the frogs in the boiling pot, meaning that I am an older millennial, so I did not grow up with this device in my hand. Like as many of you are, and I'll tell you, they're just they get noisier and they get more annoying and dumber with every single generation, and that's all by design. But we'll get to that. I can remember being in a restaurant, and these parents gave their child. I was trying to have a conversation. These parents gave their child some kind of device. Because the government is taking all their money, so mom doesn't have time to watch the kid. This is all part of the communist playbook, and it's just this annoying. It's this annoying little ditty. It's this annoying little jingle that just, and all these weird sound effects, and we're trying to have a conversation. Next table over, there's this kid with this, and it's obnoxiously loud, and the parents just don't see any problem with it. And they're not super young parents either. They're and they're not very good looking either, but that's besides the point. They had a rather mean looking faces. Anyway, but there's just so much to unpack, because we here in America are the subjects of really years and years of what is essentially media brainwashing. Who are the players? There are a lot of them. There are a lot of stakeholders. And they're trying to survive. That's why you go on. I don't watch PMS NBC, I think it's called, but I hear about it. I hear because some of the pundits mock it from time to time. So I hear what happens on PMS NBC because the PMS NBC anchors and anchorettes. I think that butch lesbian's still there. You know the one. I don't know if to mention her name. You know the PMS NBC butch lesbian. She's trying to dress look a little bit more civil these days, a little more ladylike, but it's it's hard to come back from. Anyway, so the network with the PMS and butch lesbians, you got. I don't know. Is that the one Anderson Cooper's on? I don't know. There was some kind of there was a roundtable discussion on one of these things, and they're just they're laughing. They're laughing about I don't know, whatever it is leftists laugh about. They're talking about how supposedly ignorant the American how ignorant Donald Trump is. You know, never mind that they're the ones who are who are ignorant. These are the so-called elite who are they're laughing about how Donald Trump, they say, can't find Ukraine on the map, and they take some stupid. It wasn't even a funny. I don't know. It wasn't a funny joke. I guess if you're a communist leftist, it was a funny joke that said something like, if you put the letter U next to a crane on a map, Donald Trump couldn't find it. I don't know. I don't get communism. Anyway, on this PMS NBC station, I think it was PMS NBC, maybe it was Communist News Network, CNN. You lose track over it. It's just anyway. Because I don't watch this malarkey. This is why NBC, by the way, had to kind of merge with Comcast. They're hedging their losses because nobody's paying for this garbage anymore. No one's actually paying for cable. Why would you pay for cable? Why would you pay to so anyway, but I want to kind of stay on point here, and the point is that we as Americans, we don't understand the full depth of what media has done to us as a culture, and I can't. It's not. I'm doing a lecture from my car here. I'm not working off of notes, so I'm totally extemporaneous here. So bear with me. I'm in the middle of several jobs as I speak to you. I'm trying to. So anyway, we're talking about the effects of media on the American mind and the power of suggestion. So our Jordan Peterson did this interesting lecture once on how our minds use the information that's around us to kind of pulls things together. So things end up in your subconscious mind that you don't want there. Take pop, so-called pop music, which is really crap music. It's not. I mean, it's not. It's very difficult for me to make a discernment as to which is worse, so-called rap, and rap is not music, by the way, or pop music, because pop music is not actually popular at all. I'll tell you, I just got out of the gym maybe a half hour ago, and it's absolutely disgusting. Like, if you actually listen to the lyrics, and I listen to every single one when I'm in there. I made the mistake. I wanted to wear earphones. Normally, I did for a while. I completely ruined them because I work out hard. For the time I'm in there, because I have to. I don't have a lot of time to mess around. You ruin, if you have a really good pair of headphones. You end up ruining them. You need noise reduction because that. That ear raping that comes out of the speakers at the gym, it really is. It's ear rape. You talk about the left wants to be, it's a microaggression or whatever. I listened to because I was in there, and I try to block. I actually sing while I'm at the gym. I sing my own music. I sing my own music when I'm at the gym now. But occasionally some of it kind of gets past because you can't always sing, because if you're working out hard you can't really it's kind of in the lulls I do, or I'm stretching, And the the meat of one of the songs was essentially, and I'm making a summary, and I don't again, I don't want to give these goons who can't sing and are just auto-tuned, and the instruments aren't even real. It's all it's like a Walmart synthesizer is what it is, a Walmart keyboard. All of this pop music is what it sounds like. I remember like it was something like 10 years ago, I heard this thing at the gym, and it was just such an ugly sound, and I'm like, how can anybody want this? It was like a pitched fart is what it sounded like. And I'm sorry about the language, but that's exactly what it sounded like. It was like but it sounded like a fart. It sounded like literally a pitched fart that someone is like, press, it's not beautiful to anyone who has any sense of self-respect or has any kind of sense of nature or God or it's just it wasn't supposed to sound like a fart. It was actually like one of those whorish I don't want to call it a love song, because they don't really, the people who sing these things don't really know what it means to love someone. So like all the people like Rob Chalice at Paradigm Agency, and this is why Hollywood and Nashville and Broadway can't come up with anything that real Americans want to see. They congratulate themselves a lot about stuff that doesn't matter, and sometimes they like to attack people in the audience for some reason, but they don't actually know what real art is. But I mean, that communist Kennedy, I guess that's why they named the that thing in New York or wherever it is, the Kennedy Arts Center or whatever, the Kennedy Awards, because they I don't know, this is the art world now. It's just such a quagmire. It's so hard to get to the bottom of it. So if any of you have any questions, by the way, hit me up at americasmansman.com. If you're watching this somewhere else, please go to americasmansman.com and subscribe, because this is, thanks for your patience, the fact that you're here, that you're listening to this. Again, I'm not here to entertain you. I'm here to help you to get to the bottom of the, how our minds have been warped by the media in ways that a lot of us aren't even consciously cognizant of. We can't put our finger on it, but the results are clear. We notice when it F's up our lives so much that we see the symptoms, but we can't see the cause. We understand. Yeah, geez, I just spent all that time on F-Book, and I just wasted 2 hours with nothing to show for it. Or maybe I stayed up until 1 a.m. watching infomercials or this stupid, no talent, no art, just complete BS, cartoon stuff on Cartoon Network. I mean, talk about visual crap. I mean, and again, I don't watch any of this anymore, because it's just I watch very, very little television. I'll watch. I catch glimpses of it sometimes in the gym, because it's kind of there. But even then, I'm focused more in my workout than anything else. So I'm not even. I try to avoid watching it even at the gym, because it's just the more you understand media. And the people on television don't fully understand what they're doing. They, yes, many of them are devious, but they don't understand the full extent of what they're doing, because for many of them, like your Anderson Coopers, it's a survival game. again, they can't survive if they're not freaking you out. And if they have nothing to say, this is how, and I know this because this is what I was trained to do, and I was trained to do it by people who know television and anchors who are in it, and I've met a number of them, and by all accounts, many of them are just naive in that they've committed their careers to this, just as I did, by the way, as a fake news anchor. Commit thousands of dollars worth of education to this field called communications. I live in the hub of the universe. I happen to bump into. I had a conversation with an Emerson student. I told her to watch out for those fake news people. She was wearing a Syracuse shirt. I said, well, this is a comm major if I ever saw one. And some of them, they still believe the lie that somehow this is some kind of noble endeavor. They take it so seriously, and they're crying on the inside because these anchors, so-called anchors and reporters, they know that it's hackery. They know that it's hackery. They're trained. Where I went to school, this is just the way they educate or miseducate people that are aspiring to. Yeah, they gloss over the theory in the media and society classes, and of course, if you go to an Emerson, they're just going to attack Trump and say, well, this is because they're indoctrinating, and they were all indoctrinated by government school education. Some of them, maybe they were fortunate enough to go to a religious kind of program, or a private school or charter school, or God forbid homeschool. Most homeschoolers want nothing to do with the fake news media because they simply know better. Shout out to trad life people everywhere. But it's a total, and they train you to just keep talking, and it doesn't matter if it's important. Just keep talking and fill airtime, and fill airtime, and fill airtime, and they have very sophisticated toys which repeat their bullshit over and over and over again to you 24/7, 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. I know, this is a very difficult topic to tackle because everyone is in the midst of it, and we're still in the midst of it. We haven't, it's a daily struggle for all of us who wish to be free of this, because the simple solution is just turn it off, don't watch, right? And this is one of the ways that Hollywood goads parents who want to do the right thing, who want to be good, but it's very pervasive. It's a very pervasive medium. It's a very pervasive medium, and it has many. There are places. There are so many ways that they're pushing it into your child's mind. No matter where you go, no matter what you're doing, you can't. It's mocking parents. It's mocking good people. It's mocking the heartland. To when Hollywood and when their industry voices, paid by Hollywood, paid by the fake news, paid by the FANG companies, like Twitter, like Google. It's mocking the American people. It's mocking the people who are doing the hard work, keeping the trains running on time, or doing, changing the oil in your car. People who are actually working and making your life better in this in the greatest country in the world, God's exceptional nation, the land of the free, the home of the brave, the home of America's man's men. AmericasMansman.com. It's really mocking the American people to say, well, just don't give your child a phone, don't give your child a television, don't put a television in your child's room, don't use this parental control device. Install a V-chip in your computer, right, in your television. We established the rating system, so that so you're. It's kind of funny, isn't it? I mean, how many kids have not seen rated R? They still use rated X. I don't even know. They still, anyway. How many kids have not watched a rated R movie? Because obviously it's not effective. Whatever. But this is a self-serving kind of thing. Television ratings, Hollywood ratings. This is the government has threatened. The better voices in our great government have threatened to shut down Hollywood in a very big way. I think it was called a Hays something or other. The better voices who really care about the welfare of families have threatened to regulate the fake news, like PMS, NBC. And so Hollywood has responded by saying, well, no, look at us. We can regulate ourselves. That's why we have the television rating system and the V-chip. The V-chip. The V-chip came out like maybe couple decades ago. I don't even remember. But do any of you even know what a V-chip is? Anyway, it doesn't matter because none of you use it. So, and that's kind of the point, is that it's media is sabotaging America. None of us is above the influence. And here's the thing: is I guess in terms of how you personally have been brainwashed by the media and don't know it. I mean, in the case of pop music, I think it's a pop music. It's not really popular. It's electronic, auto-tuned whining, and they're saying awful things if you actually listen to it. Basically, I'm gonna swear, so bear with me. But basically, most of the things I've heard in the gym are basically go fuck yourself, leave town because you're a sucky human being. Like literally, this is the summary basically of pretty much all the songs I've heard in the gym, and I don't know why. They think this is good music to work out to. I talked to the staff members at the gym. They're like, well, we don't like it either. I talked to the manager at the gym. Like, yeah, I hear you. We can't do anything. I can't do anything about it because I guess their corporate overlords are forcing them to play this garbage. I don't know. Maybe they. I don't know why they do it, but it's awful. It's absolutely awful. I did a whole episode on it, so you can watch it. But it's not the point. The point is, so everything that comes out of, say, the artists that say Paradigm Agency in London represents Paradigm Talent Agency. They're not doing too well these days, so neither are any of them. I mean, Creative Artists Agency. I mean, the very best of these agencies are in the business of brainwashing you, and working with movie and media companies to basically selling actors and actresses to them to appeal to the very worst character traits, and that's what it really comes down to, is that it's always easier. I don't want to say it's always easier because it's really not. It's easier for the media companies to appeal to the very worst elements of your personality and reinforce them over time. But again, if none of this will make sense to you, if you don't understand, I guess this central point, this central takeaway, which I have to keep repeating, because if I don't repeat it, you're not going to, because the media, of course, is repeating all sorts of other things. Basically, in the case of the songs they play at the gym, they repeat the same awful things over and over again. Like, if you'd let me funk you. If you'd let me funk you. If you'd let me funk you. It's not cool. It's really fucked up is what it really is. And I don't know why good people tolerate this at the gym, because it's just it's undignified. It's anti-human. But again, all these Hollywood people who come up with this stuff, like Rob Chalice at Paradigm Agency in London, they've all been raped in some way or another. So this is their world, and they want to. Lady Gaga was raped, and so this is, which, you know, I empathize with people who are, you know, who don't, but some of them, you know, again, Hollywood reinforces their rape experience and says, well, you know, this is we're going to run with this because this is a good thing that you were raped, because now you can convince other people to get raped as well, and moreover to enjoy it. And that's essentially kind of what pop music is. It's jingles for hell. It's like, you know, if Satan were to open up, I don't know, a fast food restaurant. I'm seeing this stuff here. If Satan were to open up a fast food restaurant, how would he pitch that restaurant to you? It would probably be annoying at first, right? Burn in hell all your life. You know, I think I just ripped off something from Blue's Clues there, but bear with me. If you listen to that enough times, now it's annoying, isn't it? Burn in hell all your life. Burn in hell all your life. Murder your neighbor. Fuck his wife. You know, obviously that's kind of it's kind of annoying, right? But the thing is, if you hear that day in and day out for long enough, take, you know, what we do to you know, those dirty Islamists, those dirty Islamist mofos who are trying to blow us up, right? They're trying to enrich uranium. Barack Obama was, let's give them more money so they can buy more uranium, enrich more uranium, and start a nuclear war. Great idea, Barack. Yeah. Talk about communism. You know, if what we do to what a better FBI, what a better CIA once upon a time did was they locked these people in a room, and you know, and they, you know, again through the power of suggestion. It's like, who do you work for? Who do you work for? Who do you work for? It's like, damn, 3 times. No, but you do. You can manipulate a person. Now, for most of you, you're not in a lockbox somewhere. You're not in an interrogation room. But you are the good people who are working hard, just like America's man's man, to make life better for everybody else in this great capitalist system that it's not even a system, it's a living, breathing, capitalist American enterprise that which is essentially, as Rick Santorum says, a moral enterprise before anything else, because we are a nation founded upon Jesus Christ. Conservatism is Christian. Christian is conservatism. Anytime you attempt to deviate from that, you know, people start getting into trouble. The conservative story, the American conservative story, is so remarkably consistent. And the leftist story, the communist story, you know, you find out over time, if you really get down to it, that it doesn't add up. Things just don't, you know, that's why I used to be one of those people who, well, you know, I'm conservative on life, but I don't believe in, you know, I don't understand why people have to be so gung-ho about guns and all that stuff. And I was less mature. I was less educated then. You know, it was an uneducated opinion. And you learn over time that, you know, that the conservative way, the true conservative way, not the troll conservative way, not, you know, the Heritage Foundation doesn't talk a lot about Jesus Christ these days. Well, no, it can't just be Christian. It's going to be Judeo-Christian. The people who reject Christ and Christian, because that makes sense. Well, it can't just be pure conservative news. If we're going to start a cable network that's fair and balanced, we got to get those ass fuckers on our side too. So we're going to get Shep Smith in here, and it just doesn't. I'm going to, like Ainsley says, lovely Ainsley, bless her heart. I would never discriminate against transsexuals. I would never go against trans rights. Bless Fox and Friends' heart. Oh man. So you're not in a lockbox. Nobody is sitting you down in a room and screaming things at you. But, however, the homosexuals got excited when I said but, so I had to say however. It's a better conjunction. I just so much more educated. However, you are on a regular basis, in your quest, your intrinsic human quest to fulfill your life purpose, you seek information. And we all call it, the left calls it entertainment. It's just harmless entertainment. Kids can tell the difference between television. They say, oh, it's just a movie. It's just a television show. We know that's not real. Again, this is sound. I'm trying to keep this from sounding highfalutin, because I usually lose most of you when I start quoting scholars and academics, and only academic people tend to kind of buy that stuff. So I'm trying to make it very simple, trying to make it very understandable. Because the reality is the fake news has dumbed so many of you down, and it's the truth. By the way, we're getting dumber. We're getting less intelligent. We're getting, and the media is totally the main factor in this. I'm not saying blame the media. I'm saying, well, we need to take a hard look at ourselves and decide whether we really want to invite these evils from the fake news media, from Silicon Valley, FANG, Facebook, Apple, Amazon, Google, Netflix. It's pornography. It's Netflix is pornography. From 13 Reasons Why You Teenage Girls Should Kill Yourselves to, just like China, right? It's communist. From 13 Reasons Why You Should Kill Yourself. Is that 13 Reasons or 14 Reasons? Whatever it was. It doesn't matter. It's the story of a girl who commits suicide, and oh, what a noble thing, and oh, we hardly knew you. The end result is, well, gee, maybe I should try the suicide solution. It's absolutely horrendous. How many Satan stories does Netflix have? How many? It's awful. It's absolutely ridiculous. And you realize, if you have any brains at all, how remarkably effed up their arguments are. It's Monty Python. Look at the impeachment. The impeachment is the absolute worst. This is their latest spectacle in attempting to dumb down the American people. The House managers, really Nancy Pelosi's, people she's pulling the strings. It's really Nancy Pelosi, basically holding these puppet House managers for, And they basically said, the House managers are like, ladies and gentlemen of the jury, it's like Monty Python is what it. That's how much logical sense the impeachment proceedings make right now. Ladies and gentlemen of the jury, we have proven, if you look at the facts, beyond a shadow of a doubt, that Donald Trump is a very bad man. That he has awful hair, and he fucked your brother. It's basically what the impeachment proceeding has amounted to. The Republicans it was their turn to speak today, and basically like, okay, so, well, we really can't respond to this because there's no evidence that's been presented, and there's nobody's actually accused him of doing anything. So it's like, how do we more witches, anyway, how do we get to, it's very difficult. And so it's like, anyway, so you're not in a lockbox with a CIA operative attempting to brainwash you and screaming things at you. Who do you work for? You're not, but however, day in and day out. Now, the majority of you can't afford to buy your own gym. I mean, you can buy a treadmill, you can buy a weight set, you can buy an all-in-one something or other. They sold one in the morning. It sounded good when you were watching that infomercial. Yeah, I better call 800. I'll get in shape tomorrow. Just 30 minutes every day. I don't know, what do they call it? PX something. I don't know. So anyway, most of us can't afford to buy. For instance, you want to be healthy. You want your body to be functioning well. You want to you want to fill your body with the nutrients it needs. You want to feed your mind well. You want to be mindful. Big mindfulness craze. Ironically, and giving you all the wrong tips on how to achieve what they're actually promising. It's just another deviant sales pitch from the hellish infotainment empire. But you're like America's bandsman. So you go to the gym. By the way, actually, I happen to go to it's that gym where the investor is a big Trump supporter, by the way. But they know that most of the people who pay for gym memberships are idiots, and they don't understand the virtues of Trump. Not in the hub of the universe. Again, Satan is killing it in the hub of the universe. We started the whole legalized sodomy thing here. Not me personally. I watched it and I tried to stop it. I watched as my pastors stood by and did nothing. This is why the church is failing, by the way. This is why fake pastors are like, no, Trump is evil and all this. These are the pastors, like Christianity Today. Like, these are the people who were busted on Ashley Madison. They're caught up in they're more brainwashed than you are. So this is why Christian pastors today have no credibility. Most of them. I'm sure there are diamonds in the rough, but I'm the only pastor I know, and I never even went to a seminary. There's no substitute for an actual church, but America's man's men are far and above more spiritually equipped than anyone going to any church that I know of. The American church today is a kingdom divided. Satan is having a field day, and pastors can't even figure it out because they're the ones in the pulpit who are doing the gay thing. They're the gay thing, the homosexual thing. They're sodomites, and they don't even know that they've already been won over by Satan. They still believe Lady Gaga. They believe the born this way lie. it's really porn this way is what Lady Gaga is. But it's they're porned this way. They've watched a little bit too much Hollywood pornography, and 99% of what Hollywood cranks out is pornography these days. There may be a story, but I mean, 3/4 through every Hollywood movie, they're gonna start getting partially naked, and and all of a sudden, oh my gosh, I'm watching pornography. I never knew. I just went to the theater. I wanted to watch, like 50 Shades of Grey. I don't know. I just wanted to go see the story. Such a nice story. I didn't know they were gonna get naked. 50 Shades of Grey. It sounds so artistic, so inventive. I just want to go with my girlfriend. These are the people who elected Kennedy and Bill Clinton. He's such a stud, muffin. I want to have a sexy leader like Bill Clinton. Isn't it great? We have like the sexiest man in the world, Donald Trump, who's also the most intelligent. I don't know. I mean, I'm America's man's man, but sometimes I'm impressed. I'm impressed, and I'm not ashamed to say that I am impressed by what Mr. Trump has done. I had my doubts at first. I was a Huckabee guy. I wanted Huckabee to win. But Huckabee doesn't know the territory as well as Donald Trump. Donald Trump won the election because he's more media literate than his competition. He knows he's not intimidated by fake news because he came from fake news. He came from the vast infotainment empire. He pretty much built NBC. He built the last 20. He helped NBC come back from a very bad place. It was basically Seinfeld was their last thing going, and then Donald Trump, he really brought them back with The Apprentice, and that's neither here nor there. Talking to basically if you're one of the guys who are working hard here in America, if you're one of America's man's men, or the women whom we love, America's men's women, you like it. Just shut up. You like it. Anyway, if you're one of America's man's men, you're doing things to help other people. That's how you make your money. It's how you make your honest living. So you can't afford to buy your own gym. So you go to the gym, and you have to listen to these god awful. I don't like using God's name that way, but you have to listen. You don't really have a choice. Again, you can't. Again, the headphones don't really work long term. You have to listen. You have to be every single day. Every single day you're in there, and basically, it's like if there were. It's like the other day, you talk about, it's like these whores who are it's like whores clinging to your arm while you're trying to lift the weights. It's like, yeah, honey, I'll come back, we can make out later, but just stop fucking spitting in my ear, because I can't lift weights when you're fucking spitting in my ear. And that's what it is. It's like a bunch of whores who are, it's the only way I can describe it. If you actually listen to the lyrics, and the thing is, even if you're not listening to them as America's man's man does, they're if you're hearing it every day, eventually, again, your subconscious will take in what it hears, and you have very little conscious say in the matter. You don't have control over what you allow into your brain unless you actually shut it off. And you can't shut it off when you're in the gym. You can't shut it off, and it's not just this particular gym. This is LA Fitness. This is Equinox. I know the guy supports Trump that runs it, and I don't know. I guess, but I don't know. I don't know why they do it. I don't know. I don't understand. Maybe they maybe they like to insult their clients. I don't know. I don't know why they do it, but they do. And it's very difficult. I'm not saying it's impossible. I'm not saying it's impossible. And this is why it's a good idea to take hikes, which I do that occasionally, but you can't always. And the gym it's rare. It's convenient temperature-wise. You don't have to worry about it being like freezing weather, like going out for hiking at Mount Washington or something. You really, and not to mention they're showing MSNBC and all this PMSNBC on the screen. So basically you go to the gym and you've got whores clinging to your arm and PMSNBC PMSing all over your face, and that's what the gym experience is like. And that's not the only place. It's even worse if you have no sensibility about these things. If you're just you're shopping at Whole Foods because you think that buying eating a ton of organic chocolate is so much better for you than eating regular run-of-the-mill chocolate. I mean, it is, but it's not. It's of course, also part of the FANG companies too. It's Amazon owned. There's just so much that the human brain is really capable of taking, and so the only way to really you have to control what you allow into your mind. Now, americasmansman.com, again, I'm not here to entertain you. And remember, when they say, "Oh, it's just entertainment, it's just television, it's just movies," that's just their excuse for PMSing in your face. We're just entertaining. Here, watch while I do this partial striptease while you're trying to work out. I mean, I don't like to swear, but fuck the infotainment world, fuck Hollywood, fuck the fake news, fuck the FANG companies, fuck Silicon Valley. And you know why I can say fuck Google? Because the moment that Google deletes americasmansman.com, well, you're already subscribed to americasmansman.com. So you're going to keep finding my videos, my episodes, and getting notified of them. They're not really episodes. Oh, I had an episode. Follow the Bunker family next week when they get into all sorts of misadventures and shenanigans. I can say fuck Google because we're prepared for those mofos. That's right. As soon as Google deletes our channel, and it's only a matter of time, you know where to go. americasmansman.com. If you haven't already, by the way, it's very important that you hit the very top of the screen. There's an email. There's an email form in there you can fill out, and just hit subscribe. Press that subscribe button after your email address is in the box. And this way, as Google, but here's the thing: is it takes effort, right? I know. It's so much easier to just turn on whatever's on the radio and to let the horrors come in your face, the Hollywood horrors come in your face. I'm so sorry. Sometimes I forget whom I'm talking to. I forget that I have certain audience members that and I don't want to talk like this, but this is how the majority of you watching americasmansman.com, this is how you talk. This is the Vulgate. And the thing is, healthy people don't talk like this. This is the disease, the sickness that I don't like profanity. I don't like vulgarity. But we live in a world where I'd say more than 1/3 of the women we encounter on a regular basis have been had by someone whom they're not married to, and that ruins you for life. And Planned Parenthood has done this so they can sell more abortions, because they're fucking cunts is what they are. You meet a lovely girl like I have. A bunch of lovely girls, and you get to know them, and and they tell you they've been raped, and I can't tell you how many times you meet these really lovely, brilliant people, these lovely, lovely girls, and I can't marry someone who's been raped. It's just not. It's not. But this is our generation. Unfortunately, this is and it's a symptom. It's not a symptom. It's really what happened. And the way that we got like this, is that there were a very small minority of miserable people, because America is and always has been a nation of good, upstanding, Christian, Christward, Godward people. Again, we're God's exceptional nation, and that fire may burn, may be just an ember right now, but it's. And by the way, President Trump is part of the solution, not the problem. Millennials. When I talk about this problem, I mean millennials don't understand. So I'm trying to help millennials and beyond explain just how badly you have been brainwashed. Because if it's like trying to rescue people from a cult. Sometimes you're a part of the whorish cult of media. There's a book I read called Magic Castle, and it helped me to begin to understand how cults work. And since then, I've helped to bring people out of a whole bunch of different cults. And I've realized, having done this, having been indoctrinated, having been inducted into the as a former fake news anchor, reporter, proper. What I've really learned is that America has poisoned itself. America has been sabotaged by the cult of television, really. Donald Trump, the best president since Ronald Reagan, maybe the best president since someone far before Ronald Reagan. I have to say, for Ronald Reagan, he wanted to balance. He balanced the budget, or was on the way there, and of course that didn't last very long with the communists. But what we've had is America is essentially a church based on Jesus Christ. That's what we are. It's what we come from. I know you can deny that. You've been trained to deny that. I don't blame you for denying it, but sometimes you have to wake up and realize what this thing called America really is, and it starts with Christ. But as God's exceptional nation, blessed more than any other nation that has ever been blessed in the history of man, we've been blessed so very much, and as such, we've been subverted by a cult of people who have sought to make everybody else miserable. So once upon a time, America was a place of happy families, people who had close relationships with with everybody in their lives. Not always good, but the relationships were there. But you had a small contingent of whores who wanted to ruin it for everybody, and they basically. The most energetic of these whores goes to Hollywood or goes into fake news, and in their twisted, cultish perversion of the gospel of Jesus Christ, in their twisted, cultish perversion of Jesus Christ, they believe it's their mission to sabotage the Church of God in America. And these are the people whom the money makers, the real stakeholders who use these whore pawns, who read you the nightly news, these man bitches who read you the nightly news on ABC or whatever off a teleprompter, with a bunch of other whorish pawns who have decided that it's their mission too. It's a cult. It's a perversion of the gospel of America. And that perversion, at the heart of that perversion of the gospel of America, again, the Christian nation of America, which is what we have always been, and what if we lose Christ, we cease to exist as the America that has always been. it's been just this miserable contingent, and they have been very successful. The PMSNBC people in spreading the whoredom, and spreading the gospel of whoredom rather than the authentic gospel of Jesus Christ. And I know that's a lot to take in, because this is a century of fake news brainwashing. Radio came into its own sometime in the 30s, and so we've been dealing with this for a very, very long time. But America's Man's Man is going to help you get to the bottom of it, and we're not pulling punches here. Again, I'm not here to entertain you primarily. I'm here to educate you. I'm here to educate you, and I'm here to save your soul. This is America's Man's Man, AmericasMansMan.com. Thank you so much for being a part of America's Man's Men and the America's Man's Men family. Be sure to find us at AmericasMansMen.com and subscribe there, because naturally, when you call out the cult of the fake news media, including the Silicon Valley, Google, one of the FANG companies, of course, they're going to pull the plug on our channel. So if you're watching us there, most of you are already watching AmericasMansMan.com, but the rest of you stragglers need to come over, because you don't want to lose all of this, because this is critical information for your life. So much more important than anything that the PMSNBC whores, or the whores represented by folks like Rob Chalice at Paradigm in London, or Beverly Strong in Hollywood, are pushing these days at Disney and the other horror infotainment places. So AmericasMansMan.com is where America's Man's Men are going. AmericasMansMan.com, AmericasMansMan.com, AmericasMansMan.com. Got it? Just right now. This is over, so you can just go there right now. You got it? You can type it while I'm talking, just in case you forget. It's AmericasMansMan.com. I'm just going to keep saying it, so you can go over there, AmericasMansMan.com. The subscribe button is at the top of the screen. Just put your email address in and click the subscribe button. AmericasMansMan.com. America's Man's Man, because, well, I'm America's Man's Man. I hope you have a wonderful, wonderful rest of your day. Unplug. Don't watch anything else. Just try to absorb the wisdom that I have imparted to you right now. You can't do that if you've got whores raping your ear. So turn off the rap. Turn off the fake pop music, which is really just idiots in Hollywood, and that hack in London there. Just unplug. Just turn off everything right now. Just shut it down, because the world is going to thrust enough shit in your face the first opportunity they get. You're going to walk in the supermarket, and they're going to be playing rap crap. Well, maybe not the supermarket. Maybe they will. I don't know. They're going to be playing rap crap at the supermarket. They're going to be fucking your ear at the gym. They do, again. You just gotta punch the whores. Sometimes you just gotta punch a whore. I'm so sorry. Don't punch the whores. Anyway, AmericasMansMan.com. Make sure you get over there and subscribe, so that you're not left in the dark when the gulag pulls the plug. AmericasMansMan.com. So nice to see you.